Good morning. Great to be here. I love being in these places filled with talented, sharp people in many disciplines. This has been a wonderful meeting. You may be wondering why they let an artist into a perfectly respectable science meeting. But actually, exploration and science have gone hand in hand with art for a very long time. Back in the 5th century, the Ming Dynasty treasure expeditions carried scribes and artists with them to document their travels through India, North Africa. Centuries later, the archaeologist John Lloyd Stevens brought along Frederick Catherwood when he went into the jungles of Mexico and South and Central America. And he said Catherwood provided the world a visual sense of the wonders we had seen. Now, isn't that exactly what New Horizons has done for us, right? It has provided wonders that we can share with the greater world here. Just amazing. So that is the heart of exploration. And of course, as time went on, we had artists like Albert Bierstadt, Thomas Moran, who convinced the US Congress to found the first two national parks, Yosemite and Yellowstone. Um, as people built telescopes, we had more things to look at. Many expeditions, for example, Shackleton brought along photographers as that art came along. But finally, we get to about 1900, and at the Meudon Observatory in Paris, France, the director, Lucien Rudeau, was an accomplished oil painter. He looked through the telescope and very carefully tried to depict landscapes of other worlds, art constrained by the science of the time, by the scientific knowledge. And that's the essence of astronomical art. His paintings hold up well today. He did a painting of a Martian dust storm that was more accurate than most of the art up until about 1970. So he was a good observer, constrained by the knowledge and science of the time. Let's see. This is it. Okay. No, this is the laser pointer. This is it. Ha ha. It's technical. I'll be with you in a moment. So I want to show you a few images that have resulted from the science that we've gotten that has to do with Pluto, but I have to do a quick nod historically to what came before, because paintings of Pluto started a long time ago. It was just a slightly different Pluto. The earliest one I could find was from about 340 BC in ancient Greece, of Pluto and Persephone on a wall mural, ancient wall mural. But you run the tape up to the Renaissance and you get to people like Caravaggio. There is Pluto at the bottom center with his little three-headed puppy, Cerberus, a cloning experiment gone horribly bad. And then we have the Flemish artist Rembrandt van Rijn painting the kidnapping of Persephone by Pluto. Then people began to play with telescopes and see things. And this person showed us that, yes, there is a Pluto, but it's a ball, not a god. And so we were off to the races. Pluto began to infuse our culture, our music, our literature, dance, and of course, art. Here are a few examples from early times, along with the art that went on the cover. And you can see we're not dealing with a lot of scientific content here, right? There wasn't a lot known except that, hey, this is a really far away place and it's cold and dark. But those elements make a great story, right? And so the literature begins to be infused with all things Pluto. Well, knowledge progressed. And we see these Hubble images, these maps. And then, of course, we got to Triton in the 80s. And Triton was in the same neighborhood, of course, about the same size. So people naturally wondered, okay, is this a, a shadow of Pluto that we are seeing here? This is a painting that I did actually of the Cantaloupe terrain on Triton for the Trident mission, which I still think is a great idea. Maybe one day we'll do that. Yes, yes. So Paul Schenk helped me with the details of this image. And so, you know, still wondering, okay, how close are we getting here to what we're going to see on Pluto? Great mystery. This painting by Don Dixon just really intrigues me. It came in the mid 90s, I think, maybe early 90s. And I call your attention to the object up in the sky. This is Pluto and Charon. Not bad, huh? Now, some of this is guesswork, some of it is serendipity, but remember that the astronomical artist is constrained by the scientific knowledge at of the time. You look at a piece of space art and instantly you understand what the level of scientific understanding was at the time. You also understand something about the culture. David Hardy did this painting in 1991. Notice that there are some haze layers there, okay? And look at Sharon. Look at that big canyon. Now, Dave was thinking that this would be, the reason he puts this here is because he assumed that there would be tectonic features because of the tidal locking of the two bodies. I guess the thinking, the majority thinking now is that it's more expansion related, but nevertheless, morphologically, he did a pretty good job, pretty good guess. Here is another painting he did a little bit later of Sharon. Not bad. Very pretty. I would hang that on my wall. Later on, we get more digital art. Luis Casada did this, I think, for the European Southern Observatory. Beautiful image of Pluto, just a little pre-encounter. So he's got, you know, he has the visual angles, right? How big is Sharon in the sky? You figure that out by the human field of view is about 40 degrees, roughly. So you can figure out how relatively big an object is going to be in the sky. And Sharon would be pretty amazing up there. Now, the heart of astronomical art is planetary analogs. A few years ago, Rosalie Lopez and I went to Antarctica to study Mount Erebus. We had to go to those 4 beautiful little tents there at Fang Glacier. It's a lovely place to acclimate before they let us up on the volcano. But there was a reason for going to that specific place. Besides a great vacation. These are some of the best views we have of Enceladus, where we have active cryovolcanism, and the super detailed shot on the right is right along some of those geyser-like active sites. And the knobs that you see there, most of them are pretty much like boulders, but a few of them cast longer shadows. The shadows seem to be too long to be a bump on the surface. The question is, what could be making that? Well, on Mount Erebus, the volcano creates these ice towers. Some of them are about 60 feet tall. They are really dramatic formations from venting material coming up, mostly gases and water vapor, coming up through the ice, building. It's almost like a backwards icicle. Okay, so you build these structures. Question is, does this happen cryovolcanically? Does it happen in the outer solar system? Does it happen in a hard vacuum? We don't know, but it may be that these are good guesses as to some of these forms that we are seeing out there that we just don't have resolution for yet. So I used those formations as models to show this dead cryovolcanic site. The cryovolcanism happens at the South Pole right now, but there are regions that seem to have migrated north toward the equator. And so this is showing an equatorial view of Saturn from Enceladus, where you have these structures that have been sitting there a long time waiting for a space artist to come along. Well, things geared up for reality. The stamp was carried by New Horizons, and then there was the real one that came out, and everything changed, of course. All the space art was informed now by really good, hard, detailed scientific content. And I love Tyler Nordgren's series of travel posters. But you can see, even in this fun, lighthearted poster, all kinds of concepts behind that, things that show our understanding of the glacial flows on the planet, right? There's a water ice mountain floating on top of this nitrogen ice. Lucy West did the painting in the center. Some art is more lyrical and less realistic than other art, but it all serves to inspire and inform. This is one of my favorites from recent times. Marilyn Flynn did this. There's Sharon up in the sky, and those beautiful, they're probably the Tenzing Mountains, I'm guessing. This is the kiss and blam theory of Sharon's creation. So astronomical art can show in a nutshell features of various different theories of formations or origins. And it can even get into some controversy. I won't say a word about that. So, the two paintings on the outside were done pre-encounter, beautiful pieces. Dan Durda did a whole series that was very nice. Ken Davey did this painting in the center, commemorating the event, and also, of course, Clyde Tombaugh's discovery images. And so, this is a higher resolution view than you may have seen before. In biology, there's something called the edge effect. I don't know if anyone here has heard of that. It refers to two disparate biomes. For example, the Gulf of Aqaba and the Arabian Peninsula. On both of those regions, you get a certain amount of diversity in the light. But where those regions overlap, it's beautiful. It's much richer. The higher diversity, different kinds of life forms. Science and art are very much like that. There's an edge effect there. These two different disciplines coming together to build something greater. And art serves as a wonderful tool to communicate the really important work that people in this room are doing. This is a way that we can communicate the latest scientific discoveries that are going on and what we think about those things. But it also gives us a nice reflection of our culture and what we're thinking about all of these things. So I leave you with this image, and thank you so much for hosting this wonderful conference and having me here.
Perfect timing, Mike. We have time for questions, Leslie Young.
So beautiful to see the art informed by the science In that spirit, I have a knit,
Mm.
maybe the third slide where you showed the drawing of Charon and then the actual image next to it.
Yeah.
That's the backside of Pluto.
He, which was?
So maybe your third slide,
Okay, let me see if we.
perhaps, third or fourth.
Doesn't matter.
Well, we want to get everything right.
Got it.
Let's see. We'll see how long. Yeah, stop me when we get there. The system is just a bit slow here. Blah, blah, blah. Oop. Oh, I think it may be.
There's no escape.
Yeah, it's not gonna go any further.
Well, we'll have to do that offline. Jeff Moore.
Like a right presentation. I was surprised you didn't show anything from Chesley Bonistel. I ran across a painting he did of Pluto in 1960 for that little booklet that came with the record. That,
Yes.
yeah, well, if you look at that, it has this vast plain. It was described as frozen atmosphere with mountains around it, which of course is a dead ringer for Sputnik Planitia. In fact, I used that image as my cover slide for a number of talks on Pluto after the encounter to show that, as always, Chesley was ahead of all of us.
Absolutely, he was, and he did another painting of Pluto where the surface is brown. It's perfect color for Pluto, and then covered in white ices. Pardon me?
Yeah.
Conquest of Space, right? Yeah. He was way ahead of his time. He inspired a generation of scientists and engineers who were kind of the Voyager era folks. So yeah, Paul.
Paul.
I'll be quick. Jeff reminded me that a seminal article that educated a lot of us, inspired a lot of us, was in August 1970, I think, the National Geographic Survey of the Planets. And I believe there was a painting of Pluto in there. I can't remember, it was Pesek or it was a Czech artist, I think.
Yeah, Ludic. It was Pesek. Yes, right.
I believe he had a painting in there of Pluto.
He did. Yeah, right. I couldn't find it for this talk, but yeah, he did. There've been quite a few amazing ones done that I left out. Bill Hartman, as you all probably know, has done some very nice Pluto images in the past.
Yeah, well, I'm just glad you had the Don Davis one. It was on Andy's textbook that I used my first year as a grad student.
Oh, yes. Great.
Thank you, Mike. Let's
All
thank
right.
Mike again.